good morning. Glad you could join us again for these daily devotionals. And this week we're in our series called Live Generous, and we're talking about our faith and how others have used their faith to influence us and what we're doing with our faith to influence others. And I'm going to read a passage of scripture, and I love it when Jesus uses food as a reference in his parables that he's teaching. And this one is sort of loosely related to food. It talks about the mustard seed. And when I think of mustard, I think of foot-long hot dogs from Sonic and baseball games and all that fun stuff. So if you've never seen a mustard seed, let me explain this a little bit to you. The mustard seed is pretty small. It's not the smallest seed that there is, but it is the smallest of garden herb plants. And the reason that Jesus uses it as an example is, I think, very important to explain how our faith, as small as a mustard seed, can be used to impact a multitude of people. And so I'm going to read from you. This is from Matthew chapter 17. And this is when a man approaches Jesus and brings his son to the disciples and wants them to drive out a demon because he's falling around into the fire or into the water, and the disciples, for some reason, they don't know why, weren't able to drive out this demon. So the man brings his boy to Jesus, and Jesus says, and this is in verse 18, Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed from that moment. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" He replied, "Because you have so little faith. I tell you the truth, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." So why did Jesus use a mustard seed there? It has to mean something. So a mustard seed, keep in mind, is a small seed. It's not the smallest of the seeds, but it's the smallest of the garden herbs that were cultivated and planted in that area of Galilee pretty regularly. And so if you Google what a mustard plant actually looks like, it's incredible that from this tiny little seed in one planting season, the mustard, they call it a mustard bush, it actually grows up to 20 feet. And we see other places in scripture, like in Mark, where Jesus references the mustard plant. And so what's so incredible about that is he relates it to our faith. So if we have faith as small as a mustard seed, starts out small, but doesn't stay there. We plant it, we invest in it, we grow it, we cultivate it, we harvest it, and in the end, we have a 20-foot bush. So if our faith is so small and we invest it in someone, how much further reach is our faith going to have than if we're just keeping it to ourselves? It's exponential, because you influence somebody's life for Jesus. Then they influence somebody's life for Jesus. And then they influence somebody's life for Jesus. And what started as a small little mustard seed became this giant tree of a bush in one season. And so that's how our faith can grow and grow rapidly, and should grow, that we influence others and we have others influencing our lives at the same time. So I want to encourage you this week, if you're not investing your faith in somebody, go out and get a mustard seed. And let's get excited about what God's going to do through us. So let's do that.